Hello, it's Rafael Gutierrez again, and today I'm going to talk about how the leg can be used to develop power in punching. Now, most people don't understand how to punch. A lot of people think they can punch, but in reality, all they do is use their arms. Now, if you really want to learn to punch, you really want to look at how the legs work, how the entire body can be used to develop power, and how you can use as a mechanical advantage for the development of power. I'm going to mostly talk about how the foot it should be flat if you want to develop power, but if you want reach, you actually can come up on your toes and bend your legs, so you can end up getting a lot more reach. But one of the things is, if you're going for reach, you're going to sacrifice power. If you're trying to get power, you're going to sacrifice reach. And so just a little bit of the things that I'm going to talk about, and I'm talking about a straight punch here. The other thing I'm going to mention is I am planning my trip from San Diego to Northern California, Oakland area. And I've actually been able to already have a couple places to train. I'm going to be training in LA with a couple people. Looks like in Santa Barbara I'm going to be training with someone. In San Luis Obispo I should be training with someone. I'm waiting to hear from them. And then in Walnut Creek area, which is close to where my brother lives, I will be able to at least meet someone there. And I'm hoping to meet a couple people in San Jose and other areas. So hopefully if you're in that general area between San Diego to Oakland, which is about half the state of California. Hopefully, I'd actually love to meet anyone who watches this and just say hello, whether you agree with me or not, and maybe we could discuss different ideas. But yeah, hopefully I will try to do some videotaping on the recording on the way, so hopefully I'll be able to put it online and you guys can see what I do. Well, thank you for your time and enjoy the video. Have a nice day. Hello, it's Dr. Rafael Gutierrez again, and today I'm going to talk about using the leg to develop a power when you punch. If it doesn't make sense, it's because you're not paying attention to how you move. Now, if you think of your force coming from your legs for your punch, that means as you rotate this way, you would end up using that force of rotation to throw a punch here. If you rotated the other way, you would do the punch here. So you can actually use these rotations, the rotations of this area here, the hips, by using the legs to drive more power. Now, one of the things that you will notice is if you grab your biceps area and you grab your femur area, your legs, you'll notice how much bigger your femur area is to your biceps. So what you want to do is you want to use as much muscle possible to develop the maximum amount of force. And what we want to deal with is force and speed. So we want to have a lot of speed and a lot of force. And when we're doing this, we actually are using a bit of the mechanical advantage. Now, I'm going to talk about only the leg right now, today. Next week, I'm going to talk about the hips and how you can use the muscles in the inside and the abdominal to even drive more power. But for us to look at the legs, we do have to look at the skeleton and see how it works. Now, a lot of people will tell you when you hit to straighten your leg and keep your foot flat. Some people say to lift off on the heel, and some people think that when you lift it off on the heel, you're getting more power. The truth is, you are sacrificing, when you do lift your heel up to drive with your heel rather than just your leg, you have to sacrifice something. And what I want you to do is, I'm going to have you come and look at the skeleton's leg. Now, the gastrocnemius, which is a muscle that comes down here, I'll show you it on this model here. The gastrocnemius and soleus, which are these two muscles here, work by lifting on the foot. So they actually can get your foot to come from a planted position up. If you're using this with a straight leg on a punch, what you're doing is you're actually moving upward rather than into the target, which is what you're trying to do. To be able to use the foot, to use the gastrocnemius and soleus to develop power inward, you then have to bend your knee. So if we were to take the skeleton model here, your knee would have to be bent, so your foot could end up being used as a spring to drive in. Now, like I said, the problem with that is as you bend your knee, you stop using your quadriceps muscle groups. That's these muscles here. And these big muscles, if you actually look at your leg, you'll notice that those muscles are a lot bigger and stronger than your gastrocnemius and soleus. And so if you are trying to spring off your heel to drive power in, you have to bend your knee, which keeps your quadriceps muscles from functioning so well. It does have an advantage that people don't think of, and that is if I am flat leg, if my leg is flat, I can only go a certain space. For instance, here, this is if my leg is flat and I'm punching with my leg flat, I can come this far. If I go on my heel, I can actually have a lot more space that I can cover, which can be is really beneficial if you're trying to cover distance. But it does come at a loss of power. The power actually you want to use is this big muscle group here, not this one here. If you look at how big, you have a lot more muscle here, and so that's why you would want to keep your foot flat on the ground rather than come up if it's for power. If you are actually doing it for to cover more distance, then it does make sense. Like I said, next week I'm actually going to talk about more of the muscles in the leg as they come up the hip here. And so you can actually use that for rotations to get even more muscles.